Hello again. So I got a notice that the stream was stopped for some kind of copyright violation, which I don't understand because I didn't have music playing and I don't see anything in the background that they could object to. The only thing I can think of is that my shirt says Silver Springs, but I mean, it's a Fleetwood Mac song, but it's not lyrics from the song. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. So I'm going to try it again and we will see what happens. All right, coffee. Ooh, YouTube just sent me an email. Maybe they are telling me what is it says violates community guidelines, but it doesn't tell me which one. Yep. Literally no information. And of course, because of COVID, their review process has been disrupted. It's probably very slow. I mean, I hadn't done anything yet, so no big deal. Just as long as they don't take down this one too. All right. Light on or light off? It's very dark. Does that light help? Is that better? Or is that better? Natural light. Overhead light. That one's probably better, huh? Coffee. Where is my coffee? You ever make a coffee and then forget you have it? You might notice my kitchen is very small. That is literally it. There's nothing over here. This is dining room, living room, everything space. Right now, my computer is on my dining table, but I basically eat on my couch because it's the most comfortable space. So I raised this up so it's higher now. And I might get closer. Molinex. Oh, it just fits almost. Perfect. Cough. Water. I hope you are all drinking lots of water. I drink like 3 bottles a day. All right. I thought I would make croissants because I have butter, which I very rarely have. But my mom and I went to Costco like 2 weeks ago and I got butter. This is a Molinex, also known as a food processor. I grew up calling it a food processor. Here's the funny thing. This was my grandma's and she gave it to me when I moved in here. There's 2 guys walking and I live in a basement suite and so my windows are on the ground, but they're the whole width of the room. So I have tons of light in here, but I'm always very freaked out that people are looking inside when I have all of my shutters open. So, and I very much feel like Julia Child standing here because I'm talking this way and what are they seeing out the window? My window is right here. So the funny thing is that my grandma gave me this when I moved into this place. It used to be hers, but we have the exact same one at home that my mom had. So this is the one I grew up using. Not this exact one, but this exact model. So I kind of think that my grandma bought 2 and gave 1 to my mom. Okay, so just a regular, what you want to do for croissants is butter plus flour. And what that does is just kind of stabilizes the butter. So, knife. So this is what you would call a pound of butter. We just call it I don't know, what do we call it? Technically, it's 2 cups. It's like a thing of butter. That's what I call it. It's not a stick of butter. In Canada, we don't have sticks. A stick is like what, a quarter cup? We get these big blocks of butter. So this has been sitting out because this is the butter I've been putting on my waffles and my bread. So it is less than 2 cups, but not by much because I'm just getting it off the top and using it when I'm, sauteing mushrooms and Brussels sprouts, which are 2 of my favorite vegetables. A stick is 8 ounces, Megan says. Thank you very much. What is 8 ounces? 8 ounces is a cup. A stick is a cup? Wow, I thought a stick was smaller than a cup. See, you can tell that I don't measure because I don't know these things off by heart. I will also say, in Canada, and I am learning this with all of my Asian students. Most of my students are Chinese and Korean. So when they talk about how tall they talk about in centimeters, which is, to me, bizarre. I don't know how to convert that in my head. We were talking about this yesterday because we were trying to figure out how far away from each other we should be. I heard 1 meter. To me, 1 meter is 3 feet. So I know what 3 feet looks like. We were trying to figure out how tall I am because I am 5'4". But I don't know what I am in meters and centimeters. And they all do. Megan is talking to me and I can't read it. They are little half sticks, but a standard stick is a cup. Yeah, the little skinny ones is the ones that I always see on cooking shows. So that's what I always think of. All right. So just about, I need to get through here. Flour. This is 22 quarts, 20 liters. My grandma gave me this to hold on to while she was moving. And then she was like, oh, I bought a new one. You can keep that. Because that's my grandma. And that's also my mom. Which is why I said I steal everything from her. All right. So here's a story. I applied for the Great Canadian Baking Show on CBC last year. I think it was April. And it was Megan who told me to do it. I probably would not have done it if Dan Levy was not the host. And then it turned out that he didn't host that year. So it was okay that I didn't get in. But I did get an audition. So I got to go downtown Vancouver. We did it in a culinary school. So I got to go with about 24 other people. And as I'm trying to remember now, I don't think there were any men. It was all women. It was all, yeah, I don't think there were any men. No, wait, there was one. There was one guy. He was about my age, maybe younger. He made a passion fruit tart that was really, really good. When I ate it, the custard, the passion fruit custard flavor just like, wow, burst. It was so vibrant, really good. I made bread, of course. It was not my best effort. I really kind of, I did not do my best. I think I kind of got nervous and self-sabotaged myself a little bit. The problem was I made a whole loaf. And when you make a whole loaf, like you can't look inside. I really should have made small little things, made like a whole bunch of little things. Anyway, the point I was going to make is that when I was doing my interview with the baking judge, with the chef judge, she asked me what my other experience is. And she specifically asked, have you ever done any laminating? And I said, no, because I haven't. I'm not going to lie. And I kind of feel like that was one of the demerits against me, one of the things that did not get me in. Because laminating, while not hard, difficult, challenging, advanced, is still really super easy for home chefs. So I laminated dough for the very first time this last Christmas, and I made croissants for my family Christmas breakfast. We used to always get croissants. My mom would buy frozen, already formed at Costco. It was like an industrial, back when Costco was really super industrial and like kitchen supplies and that kind of stuff. Not supplies, food, like wholesale. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to turn the heat down because it's really hot in here and I'm wearing a sweatshirt. Also, might open the windows. Get some air in here. While we're quarantined, we need fresh air. So I have now laminated dough, and it is very easy. I followed Martha Stewart's recipe. She has the best archive of recipes, so it's always the first place I go to. So I'm just gonna do like almost 2 cups. I don't know if it's 1-to-1. This is unsalted butter. I was trying to remember because my mom buys both. Unsalted for baking, salted for every day. All right. Let's see how loud this is, huh? You don't want to just press it and let it go because then it gets all clumpy and gluey. So what you want to do is pulse it. That's what they call it. But because this machine is, again, maybe older than me, a lot of things that I own are older than me because they are from my grandma and my mom. So it's a little bit sticky. All right, now this is starting to look a little too much like pastry dough. So now I'm a little bit worried. What I might do is just put some water in there. Or I might just clump it together. Or I just might make pastry. Remember, I've only done this once. And the last time I followed a recipe, and this time I'm not following a recipe. But part of the reason that I have always wanted to stream cooking and baking is because I believe that everyone can do this, everyone should do this, and that cooking and baking is not as hard as people make it think it is. Megan, you are the only person watching this. There's only 2 people, and one of them is me. All right. All right. So, if you've ever wondered how to make pastry, all right. So that was too much flour. Now we know. All right, so my hands are very warm. Change of plan. See, when I get really close to the camera so that you can see this, then you can't see me, or you can see like the worst part of me. So maybe is it better if I'm headless? That seems kind of weird, huh? Oh, oh, it's just the garbage. Okay. Good news, garbage is still running here in White Rock. All right. My hands are too warm. You can see how the butter is really sticking to them. So this is very wet because I just washed it. This is a bench scraper from yesterday. If you joined me yesterday. All right. So what I was saying is that everyone can bake, even my friend Elizabeth, who can barely cook, but she can roast veggies, because roasting veggies and chicken is one of the easiest things in the world. And I'm very proud of her that she does that. Yes, this butter is very, very warm because I was not planning on making pastry today. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mush it into a bowl, and then I'm going to stick it in the fridge. And then we are going to make pastry later. Or maybe I can just mush it and then use it for my croissants. So many people think that baking is about, yeah, this is really weird. It's really weird for me to be headless. Let's try that. And I can get close. And you can't see if I'm there. Go down a little bit. Probably go down a little bit more. So, baking can be an exact science, but it doesn't have to be an exact science. In fact, the baking that I like to do most is adaptation. So, what can you make with what you have? Which is very important right now while we are all stuck inside of our houses. Here's my fridge. It's very empty. I basically only use this top shelf and the door. That's it. I'm one person. Right now I have dough from yesterday. Let's take that out. Here's my freezer. Very full. A lot of this stuff is from my grandma's garden. Staples. Spices. Coffee and tea and stuff. That's it. So you have to figure out what you can make with what you have. So I'm looking at this butter, and I am thinking that I might be able to make those croissants if I can mush it together. This is why dairy maids have to have very cool hands. And you have to work in a very cool environment. When they used to make butter, they would use these wooden things called butter hands, kind of like this. So you are not touching the butter. The butter is touching these wooden things. So I don't have wooden butter hands, but I do have plastic ones. And I wonder if these are going to work. So if I'm going to make croissants, I have to make this a flat pat of butter. Yeah, I don't know. But this is all part of the process. We are learning together. So there's still only 2 people on this stream. So I'm going to tell not an embarrassing story, but something that made me laugh about my friend Megan, who is watching, and that 2 summers ago, we were at a resort and we were doing an Iron Chef challenge. And our other friend Elizabeth was filming us on Instagram. And Megan was very worried that people were going to see her bad knife skills, or that her knife skills would not be perfect. And that is the kind of thing that I don't care about at all. And that is one of the ways in which we are different cooks. Because I don't care how messy it is, or what it looks like, or what people think. I only care if it tastes good. And this because it is butter, is going to taste excellent. All right. Here's what I've decided to do. I'm going to take this. I'm going to get some plastic wrap. I'm going to wrap it up and put it in the fridge to chill it out and make my decision later. Actually, I suppose I might make my decision now because I have that other bread, so gotta do something with that. This is where bench scrapers are very nice. And a nice clean board. But let me tell you, it smells amazing in here. When I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, we were a one income family for a very long time. So I definitely grew up working class. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. But even still, my mom always baked. My friends, my brother's friends too, our friends loved coming to our house because we always had something to snack on. Everyone knows these tins, right? This one's ancient. It's from my parents' house. Again, my mom has tons of these. She was like, take some, take some. So I took this one because it's a nice size. It's a tall one instead of the little tiny one. These would just sit on our dining table and our counters. They would always be there. My friends would come over and we'd go and we'd look inside. It's like, ooh, what's in there today? Right now it's Cliff Bars, not homemade. All right, so you want to make it flat like this. You want to do this for pastry or for croissants. It really doesn't matter. You just want it to be flat because I'm going to put it in the fridge. It's going to get hard. Actually, I might put it in the freezer. All right. So we always had baking in my house. My mom always made cookies. Actually, my mom is an education assistant. Oh, I think Megan heard my story. My mom is an education assistant, and the BC schools are on spring break right now. Spring break is 2 weeks. So that was planned, and now schools are closed indefinitely. We don't know when they're going back. So my mom is home, and she had planned to go on a cruise, as they always do. So she's home, and she is baking, of course. And she posted on her Instagram for the first time in, like, I don't know, 2 years. I didn't see what the last one was. Megan says that she agrees she could stand to care less what people think, which is very true of everyone, especially now when we cannot afford in any way to keep up our regular routines. Like yesterday, sorry, this is why I don't have a podcast. because I am very good at talking. I am a teacher, so I talk at my students all day. Not all day, I work after school, but I talk at my students. I have no problem talking in front of huge groups. I love doing readings. I won speech contests when I was like in the fourth grade. I'm very good at public speaking. So I've always thought I should do a podcast, but I talk like this tangentially. I go off and then I forget to come back. So let me finish my mom's story first. We were working class, not a lot of money, but we always had home baking in my house. But my mom always used margarine, imperial margarine, which came in little blocks, which now that I'm remembering, I think maybe they were 1 cup blocks because they were smaller. I wonder, I will have to ask my mom. So I grew up eating margarine on everything. Never ever had butter because butter is really expensive. It's really expensive here in Canada. I don't know if you know this, but Canadian food is more expensive than American food in a lot of places. Not American food, but food products. My grandma loves to go across the line into Washington State and buy groceries because groceries are really expensive or really cheap there. She can buy butter for like $2 and it's more than $4 here for the exact same amount. So it was always margarine when I was growing up. I never knew the difference. I once to do a school project about Scotland for some reason. Maybe it was a French project. I made shortbread cookies and I used margarine because that's what we have. And my mom she was not happy with me. She was like, how could you do that? Those aren't shortbread. If you use margarine, it's not shortbread. It's not that she was mad. She was just, my God, how could you do that? All right. I really want to eat this butter. I'm not going to. I'm going to wash my hands. We could all stand to care a little bit less about what other people think of us. That's what I was going to say. Yesterday, I turned on my camera, my webcam, and filmed myself doing my morning routine, where I wash the dishes, I make coffee, and I make breakfast. And I kind of do it all at the same time. So while the kettle is boiling, I am washing dishes. In the lull, I'll get the coffee out of the freezer, blah, blah, blah. But I always do that as soon as I wake up. So I have not showered. I have not gotten dressed. I'm still wearing my pajamas. And I was thinking this morning, I should shower and put on a bra before I turn on this live stream. But honestly, who cares? Who cares what we look like? All right. While I think about what I want to make, while that dough is coming up to temperature, I'm going to show you the other thing that I make for my business. that I was going to do at the farmer's market. Oops, I'm going to go that way. So there is my oven. This is, I guess it's the same as that. It's a 20-liter bucket from my brother, who is a butcher. They get, I don't know what exactly they get in there. They get like blood and stuff in there. So this doesn't have blood in it. This has seawater. You can see from the sand on top. I'm gonna go outside and dump this sand off the lid so it doesn't get all over my house. Hopefully, you can pull it off. Please. Oh, there we go. See that? Pacific Ocean beach sand. All right, so a few weeks ago, maybe like a month ago now, my dad and I collected this water from Crescent Beach, which is about 10 minutes from here. Washington State is that way. I can literally see it from my house. It's just across the bay, Semiahmoo Bay. So that is White Rock Beach. Crescent Beach is that way. So it's on the other side of the bay. We collected it in February when it was very, very cold. I like to collect seawater during the winter because when it's really cold, not as much stuff grows in it. So it's much cleaner when it's cold. I have to wash my containers. And I have to put stuff away. My friend Ellie and I have a resolution this year. That was her idea, and I just jumped onto it because it sounded like such a good idea. So we've been keeping each other accountable every day or so. We check in and we tell each other what one thing we did to make our physical environment better. So usually it's I did the dishes, or I vacuumed, or I did my laundry. But sometimes it's something like Ellie was saying that she got so bored in quarantine that she started washing the baseboards in her house. So if you can do just one thing to make your physical environment better, this quarantine is going to go a lot better. It's going to feel a lot nicer. So the one thing that I have been doing more of that I wasn't doing before is just general tidying. The thing where you put something away where it belongs rather than just leaving it out all the time. Because I am a piler. I am one of those people that piles things. I have two small lac side tables, which are just squares. I think it's like 12 by 12. Those are my coffee tables. I just bought the second one. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I just wanted it. Both of them are piled up with stuff right now because that's what I do. I just put stuff down. And then, well, one of them is piled up with stuff that used to be on this table that I've been using for this. So that makes sense. All right. So I make two things for the farmer's market. And this season was supposed to be my first. And it was supposed to start May 3rd, which I should say it will start May 3rd because I don't know yet that it's canceled. But I really think it's going to be canceled or at least postponed. Because the schools are not being opened. And this morning, the Canada-US border was closed to Canadians and American citizens for the very first time. Even during 9/11, when George W. Bush was so afraid that bombers were going to come to Canada and then into the United States, because Canada is so much more liberal than the United States, so much more easy. So much more easy, so much easier. This never happened, by the way. It was only paranoia. Even during 9/11 and the aftermath, the border was never closed. It was just tightened. And it's never really been untightened since. That was 2001, by the way. So when I was a kid, we could just cross whenever we wanted. Sometimes you needed a birth certificate. Sometimes they would ask. You always needed to have ID. I think that they asked for a driver's license, but I actually don't know now that I say that out loud. If my parents were watching, they could tell you. When my grandparents used to take me and my brothers across by themselves without my parents, because my grandparents had a camping site across the line, they had to have a letter of permission from my parents to say, yes, these adults are allowed to have our minor children. That's the major thing, is minors. So after 9/11, you had to have a passport to fly to America and to cross by land to America, which was very new for us. That was a very big deal. And that's actually the main reason that I got my passport, because I'd never been anywhere else. So I never needed my passport to go anywhere. So the border is closed. Very weird feeling. Mostly a very weird feeling because all of my friends live in the United States. And the one thing that I know I can always give my friends in the United States is refuge. And after the election in 2016, the first thing I said to Elizabeth and Megan is, if you want to come here, you can come here. Like, that is okay. We will take care of you. Obviously, they wanted to stay and fight, which I totally understand. That's what you have to do. You have to keep voting, right? You have to keep protesting. But as the situation gets worse in the United States, and as I see Canada taking care of things, it's not under control yet, but I still feel low risk here. If you don't know, I'm sorry to get really super heavy, but now I'm sitting at this, like I'm doing a vlog now. There have been 8 deaths in Canada. We have a population of about 33 million. There have been 8 deaths, and one of them is in Ontario. and 7 of them are here. So even though we have fewer confirmed cases than in Ontario, it's not by much though. It's like a 10-person difference. Um, BC is definitely the worst in Canada, but all of those deaths happened. Sorry, 6 of those 7 deaths happened in one seniors home in North Vancouver, or they're all connected to that one seniors home. It might not all be seniors who live in there, but they're all connected to that one place. And then one person somewhere else. I don't remember the details at this moment. So, for the most part, it seems contained, and we are testing more, so we know where the people are. Anyway, let's make some salt, because if we are headed towards an apocalypse, this is a good skill for you to learn. All you need is water from the ocean. Literally just take some water. When I first started doing this, I don't own a car, but I live 7 minutes. I can walk to the beach in 7 minutes. And then I have to walk back up a hill that looks like this. So that takes me about 22 minutes. But when I first decided to make salt, I took 4 of these jars. This is, I don't even know what it is. Maybe a liter. It's more than a pint. The pints are the small ones. So my grandma is a gardener and a canner. So she always makes jam. She cans tomatoes. She makes salsa. She makes relish. What else does she make? She cans tuna and salmon, which is like amazing to me. The fact that you can, that she does that in her home. That one you need to have a special, you need to do like pressure. It's not just a regular water bath. You need to do like a pressure bath. So I don't do that one. I mean, I honestly don't can. I just stick things in cans. I put things in jars. So this is another thing. Glass jars, super good for the environment. So when they moved to their supposedly smaller house, she got rid of a whole bunch of her, not got rid of, but she gave me a whole bunch of her old jars. So this is what I use for everything. You probably saw that in my freezer. So I carried 4 of these in my backpack down to the beach. I walked out to the end of the pier and then down to the small dock. I filled these up with salt water, put them in my backpack, and walked back up that hill. It looks like that. And then I poured them into pans. And first, I filtered it. I use coffee filters to filter the water. That gets rid of all the big stuff, all the particles, the seaweed, the fish stuff, the sand. Then I poured it into shallow pans. You want like a little bit of water, right? You don't want a pot of water. You want a little bit of water because you want a lot of surface. Then I put it in the oven, turn the oven on high, and then you have salt in like an hour. So the first time I did it, I got a little bit of salt. And then I asked my brother for some buckets so I could go into production of salt. So my dad and I got 2 of these, and I only just finished the first one. So that took me I wasn't doing like everyday production. because the market was May. So it's not like I'm in a hurry. And I don't really know how much people are going to buy. All right. So I think this is my best pan. I think it's a 9 by 13. I don't think it's a 9 by 11. And then I have this one, which is a little bit smaller. So I use a 4-cup measure. This one takes a little bit less than 4. This one takes 4 pretty good. And then both of them will come out at the same time. If I do 4 and 4 in both of them, this one always takes a little bit longer. So this is how you make salt. I like my rack to be fairly low, but it doesn't matter that much. I put the pans in first. The oven is not on. I have these little tiny coffee filters. They're meant for putting directly into 1 cup, and it came with this little stick thing, so you can see that there's holes in them. So you're supposed to rest it on your mug. Do you ever forget that you have a coffee and now it's cold? So it looks like a little funnel. I tried making coffee in these, and the hole is just so small, it was terrible. So now they are my salt filters. Hey, we just passed the 1 hour mark. So this water is directly from the ocean. Nothing has been done to it. But because it's been sitting, all of the sand has settled to the bottom, So the top is mostly clear, but still I'm going to filter it. So I just pour it. Kind of want to make sure you're not just like staring at my butt while I'm doing this. Not that I care what you think about my butt, but because it's just polite. And also you should be able to see this. So you can't quite see this pan, but it is here. I'm not just pouring it directly. All right, that's one. This one's just a little bit less than 4 cups. All right, let's do. You have to be very gentle when you're pushing it in just because it sloshes. And then I crank it all the way to the top. My oven goes up to 290 Celsius, 550 Fahrenheit. But whatever the top temperature is should be good. And then you literally just let it go. Don't open it, just let it go. I mean, it's not bad if you open it, it's just you waste time. All right. I think after an hour, I will end this stream. Being now is what I mean. It's an hour and 3 minutes. So you saw me make some salt and experiment with making a butter package. By the way, that is what it is called. When you make laminated dough, you have to make a butter package that goes inside of the dough. So if I decide to make croissants, I will tell you. I will start the stream again. If I decide to make pastry, I will probably just bake that dough, bread dough, and then I will make pastry tomorrow. I don't know why my eyebrows are doing that. Probably because I'm looking at myself. And if I decide to make a zine, I might do a screen share stream later. If you're interested in zines, there are a few things. One, I am going to make a zine about people who are baking and cooking in their house now because we're quarantined. So I want to talk to you if you are doing something brand new, something you've never done before, or if you just really love baking and you want to talk to me. So you can get in touch. Two, there is quarantine. I don't remember what they're calling it. If you go on Instagram, there's a hashtag quarantine zine. I've seen a couple. I saw somebody collecting a Google Doc for some kind of magazine thing. I saw something somewhere else. I will have to collect those things and put them somewhere. I'm really starting to think that I might join Twitter again. And I don't know if that makes me sad or defeated. I don't know. My recent blogging has been one post a day. And I restarted that again this week. I had taken a long break over winter. This winter was really bad. I did not feel good at all. So I kind of stopped, as I often do. And I mean, I'm doing this, maybe I'll just talk at you or talk at myself. Um, so there are lots of quarantine zines if you want to get involved and do something. I really like making collaborative zines because it means I don't have to fill all the pages myself. I can just do one little thing and then I made something. And that's all you have to do is one little thing. And then you make something. So I'm going to end this stream and then I'm going to clean up. Ellie giving me my check mark. And then I'm going to make some real breakfast. And I'm going to heat up that coffee that I let go cold so I can drink it. And then I'm going to read more terrifying news about the world. So thank you for watching. All of the links are in the bottom. You can subscribe to whatever you want. And I'm going to do this definitely tomorrow morning and maybe this afternoon. I'll see you then.